How did that feel for the first time?
The first time I was really shocked because it was on a guy named Ray Midoff. It was in 1995, and I got called up to Miscavige's office, conference room, along with about 3 other executives, and Ray was already there. And I don't even know what it was that set him off, but he was so mad at Ray, and Ray was sitting at attention. I described this on the St. Pete Times, but he was sitting at attention at his conference table in the, Miscavige's office, sitting at attention like this while Miscavige is ranting and raving around the room. And finally, and he was so mad, and we didn't know what. We just kind of came in there and stood off to the side. I don't even know why he wanted us there. But he started hitting him on the head, and he ripped off his name tag and broke it and said, "I'm going to quit, this is all too much," and started kicking chairs and running around the office. He took cash out of his wallet and started throwing it at Ray, saying, "Take this now that I hit you, I'm going to pay you off or something so that you don't motivate on it." Then we were all sent down back to Watchdog Committee with Ray to handle Ray, even though he didn't even tell us what he had done. But that was the first time I saw it. It really had a lot of impact on me because I thought something really bad must have happened, because number one, he wouldn't even tell us what it was, so it was something confidential, and it was something major, and I figured that that Ray must have seriously screwed something up that would set Miscavige so badly over the edge. You have to kind of rationalize it, because you're there, it's your life, it's your crusade, you work with these people. I'd known Ray since I was 16 years old. And for you to see something like that, you think, Miscavige has got to handle some big catastrophe that Ray created, and so maybe it's justified. But I'm not in on the information, so, what do we do to handle Ray? Everyone's trying to figure out what to do to handle Ray. He ends up going to the RPF, and he was gone for 4 years. That was the first time that I saw it. After that, it started actually happening often. I understand that it happened quite often even before the first time I saw it. But that was the first time it had a lot of impact on me because of that.
Mm-hmm. And the whole thing about not having all the information leading to such an aggression.
I know.
Wasn't that something that happened really often in Scientology? Because as far as we know, it is pretty popular to tell somebody, just don't tell anybody else, you're more important than the others, please keep it confidential, so that the staff, even in the Sea Org, really doesn't know about what happens with the staff.
They don't know. At the international base, it's a confidential location, and what you are made to sign things, nothing that happens there is supposed to go off the property. You don't talk about it to somebody else at a lower echelon. Like, not at all. Otherwise, you're in treason for violation. It's a condition of treason. You're assigned for violation of security. So you don't tell anybody anything that goes on there. Otherwise, you're in hot water. So that's from day one of going on that property. That's one of the basic rules. And all of your communication going off the property is checked by somebody, management-wise, personal, anything, presence, anything. It's all checked, and it's all checked coming in. So there was a lot of screening on that, and if there was anything suspicious about it, you'd get pulled in and asked about it. So that was a way of life. So I certainly wasn't going to be repeating that around to anybody. And within the organization, you don't really talk about it either, because that's something that happened between Ray and David. I remember one time I said, well, when I came down, I said to another staff member, I said, he was really pissed, and he even kicked a chair into blah blah or whatever, and the person's like, "That's black PR," like I'm spreading some lie about David Miscavige, and I realized, okay, this is I shouldn't be talking about it. Anyway, so yeah, you shut up about that kind of thing, especially because he's the one in charge, and nobody knows better than David Miscavige, quote unquote.
And we saw a nice little story you told on the internet as well regarding David Miscavige's dog.
Oh my God.
And I'm sure you saw the interview Tommy Davis gave in the aftermath of that.
I know.
And his whole face went blank for a second before he tried to make fun of your story. So how was your reaction to the Tommy Davis?
Tommy Davis is so clueless. He never worked at International Management. I was there for 20 years. He never went there. Maybe he came up to take a celebrity through or something like that. He didn't know anything about the inner workings up there. He knows me. I am not a liar. I worked to build Celebrity Center. He was part of that. I worked with him very closely. It's outrageous. It sounds outrageous. So it's probably the first time he ever heard that accusation. So he's going to go, I don't know, let's bring him in here and see if he barks at you. That's a stupid ass answer, but but he really isn't in the know. It's not like, oh yeah, it's a known thing that you salute David Miscavige's dog or something like that, I was even surprised about it. Because I was out of Watchdog Committee for 8 months in Golden Era Productions, same property, different organization. And when I came back, I was made to read everything that David Miscavige had ordered while I was gone, binders of stuff. And one of them was a jelly project. And that jelly project, I said, what's jelly? And that's David Miscavige's dog. Well, the whole subject of the project was how criminal all the executives in international management were and how they needed to be weeded out and all this kind of stuff. Why is it a jelly project? Because jelly is more competent as a dog than any of the managers. So I read this going, he's so snide, it's not even funny. And then when I walked into my office, Miscavige was there in the conference room with several other executives, and Jelly was there in a sweater with, captain stripes on the epaulets, which made me laugh. But it wasn't funny. It's supposed to be funny. And he let out a little yelp, like a little bark. And I thought, he's probably telling me, can you get me out of this stupid outfit, But Miscavige looks at me and said, he just barked at you. And I'm like, yeah. And he said, well, he is trained to detect out ethics, and you got something slimy going on, or something. I mean, nothing, he didn't make me go do anything about it, but it was just that he would even say that is just ludicrous.
And you were all grown-ups in the room, so how did the other staff react to that?
They're so kiss his feet type of people, in my opinion, because they're taking the abuse, they're standing by and not doing anything about it. The frame of mind is that he is in charge, and he's fully in charge, and he's got the power to be able to do anything to you. Say, good, you clean dumpsters for the next 5 years, and that is precisely what you would be doing. He abuses his power like that and just thinks people are such trash. But he's able to do that. So you don't snicker, you don't non-comply, you act very, your knees wobbling in his presence type of thing. So nobody did anything about it, or say anything, or write a report or anything like that, unless you want to get toasted.
Mm-hmm. And without having too much spoiler alerts for your book, maybe you have some interesting story about the RPFs, or the RPFs, your time in there. How did it feel, and what was the reason for you being sent there? Okay,
I would like people to read the book for that, because I really took the time to make sure that it's explained, and so I do want to do that. I will tell you one thing, but it's not on the subject of the RPF. Okay. And this is with regards to Tommy Davis dumpster diving, because some people wanted to know, give me the specifics. Okay, I'll give you the specifics.